Hey! Hope you're well. Today I'm answering your questions. You sent me some on Instagram. I want to answer them now. Are you ready? Are you ready? How do you keep your hair so white, bleached, and how often for upkeep, and how it's so healthy? Great question. I've just filmed a video literally 5 minutes ago all about the products I use to keep my hair silver and all the products I use to keep it really soft and healthy. I would say my top tips are to leave conditioner on as long as possible. I will shampoo my hair really quickly and then I'll put conditioner in and leave that on for at least 4 minutes whilst I shave and brush my teeth and wash my face and do all of that other stuff. I also try not to use heat too much, so I'll try and let it air dry it as much as possible, and I get my roots done about every 3 months. This is like 3 months of hair growth, so my hair does grow quite quickly and it is quite naturally strong. My parents have really good thick hair and so does my sister. But yeah, products and hair masks, all which I talk about in that video, which I'll leave down below, definitely help. Do you still work at Gleam? How to balance YouTube and work? I surprisingly get this question a lot. I don't work at Gleam. I haven't worked at Gleam for 5 years. 5 years I've worked by myself full time. I still am managed by Gleam, so I go in there a lot. I'm really productive when I work outside of the house, so I try and work from their office at least once a week to see my managers and socialise and talk to people, because this job can get very lonely. But when I did have a full-time job and also did YouTube on the side, it was a case of just being really disciplined, and I'd come home from work, I'd write a blog post, and on the weekends I would film and edit and write more blog posts. And I did that for about 5 years as well before I went full-time. So it's just about doing it because you love it, and then it won't feel like work and it won't feel like you won't dread it. You'll really look forward to it. How did you meet your boyfriend? I actually want to film a whole Dates with Kate video on my first date with my boyfriend, because I still think it's quite sweet and loads of you guys want to know, so maybe I will film that soon. Leave me a comment down below if you'd like me to record that Dates with Kate. Maybe my last ever Dates with Kate, although I do still have some other embarrassing, weird, funny dates to tell you guys. But we met on a dating app. We met on Hinge, which was definitely one of my faves. I'd love to know how you feel about life deadlines, like you should be at a certain point by a certain age, feeling the pressure all the time. Oh, this is a really difficult one because, well, you guys know my past relationship history. I always thought that I was on the right track. Like, I was engaged by 25, I thought I'd be married by 27, I thought I'd have kids by the age of 30, and then that all crumbled and fell apart, and here I am nearly at 31, living with 2 single girls, about to move in with my boyfriend of 9 months. Life has a way of throwing things at you when you're least expecting it, and after turning 30 I just stopped putting any pressure on myself for the track I was supposed to be on. Obviously us women have a little bit harder because of our body clock. In my head I was always like, right, so that hasn't happened, that path that I thought I was on hasn't worked out, but I would still ideally like a child by the age of 35, and that's obviously stuck in my head a bit. But if it doesn't happen, then there are other things we can do. Yeah, it's a really difficult question. I'm not actually sure how to answer that, apart from try not to put the pressure on yourself, because I think that could hinder you on the path that you're supposed to be on instead of help you get there. Advice on places to go in London for casual, fun dates. I still really want to start my dating series where I show you some of my favourite date spots. I would definitely just recommend a nice old pub. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. There are some super cool quirky pubs in London that have activities as well. I know that there's a place called the People's Tavern which has like arcade games, and it also has an escape room and a nice beer garden. There's a bar in Haggerston called Drafts, and that is a board game pub, so if you like that, that can be a nice icebreaker, something quite casual. You can get some like food in and play some board games and have some drinks. That is like my favourite date recommendation, but I will be starting that series on my channel now soon where I recommend date venues, so stay tuned for that. Are you scared to uproot and move in with a guy again? No, I'm really excited. I love living with my housemates now, but I'm also really looking forward to living with my love and starting that whole new chapter together. I don't have any fears or worries about moving in with G. I know that there's going to be ups and downs, and I know that life isn't always super happy and bright and ecstatic and romantic. But even the little day-to-day things that I'm really looking forward to doing with him. I've had quite a lot of questions like this. How did telling your housemates that you were moving go? PS, over the moon for you. I was quite nervous about telling them, but I think they already knew before I did. It didn't come as a surprise to them at all. This house was only going to be temporary for us, and we only signed on to a year's contract, and none of us knew which direction our lives would take over that year. Like, we were 3 single ladies. We moved into this house to have loads of fun and to go on dates and have some girly time, and we've all had that. They are on different paths as well now as to what they thought they would be this time last year. I was nervous to tell them, but it was very easy, and if it was the other way round, I wouldn't have had any negativity or been angry at them at all, because we all just want to find someone we really love and to have that, and so they were very supportive about it, obviously. Would you rather have a nose for a penis or a penis for a nose? I mean, nose for a penis? I'd love a willy in general though. Hey, will there be a moving vlog, house tour vlog, or even a decorating adventure series? Yes, I'm going to be filming me packing up this house. I'm going to film moving, I'm going to film a house tour of our new place, unpacking, decluttering, decorating, because we have got a wall to paint in our place. And also I want to start some interior, like homeware, hauly thing type videos as well. How on earth can I get into the circus stuff you do? It looks so fun. I mean, I don't know where you live, but there are so many places in London especially where they do circus training and circus arts. All over the UK, in fact. I know that there are circus classes going on. You just need to do some research and find them. Don't be scared and don't be intimidated. Everyone has to start somewhere. I've been doing circus stuff for about 4.5 years now, and I just started doing a couple of things. I did some rope, I did some static trapeze and some flying trapeze. Found out which one I really loved, and have since just progressed in that. It could even be like juggling or hoop or silks or acro balance or flexibility. All of those can count as circus things. Have a bit of a Google and see what's around you. What do you think about long distance relationships? They're very difficult. The longest long distance relationship I've done was, I think I did 1.5 years with my ex, and we lived like 3 hours away from each other, so it wasn't massive long distance, but it was really difficult not being able to see them on an evening and only really being able to see them on a weekend. It definitely made it a lot more intense when we were together, and it also gives you a chance to really miss each other, which I think is what a lot of relationships can sometimes lack. They definitely have their pros and cons. I have massive respect for anyone who does long distance and is able to do that. I think it's incredible. If you fall in love with someone that lives in a different country or a really long drive away, that shouldn't stop you from trying to make that work and seeing if you can. This is a really good question. If you could write a book, fiction or non-fiction, what would you write it about? I have had a dream for so long now to write a book which is kind of like a murder mystery. I would love to write a scary murder mystery detective kind of novel, and one day I would love to make that dream come true. So stay tuned. Perhaps one day I'll actually have a brainstorm about characters, because the thing is, I'd love to do that, but I don't actually have any ideas to do that. So I do have a couple of other ideas, but I don't want to talk about them just in case they never happen, because that'll be embarrassing. Would you send me some of that malted biscuit tea, not available in the USA joke, sort of? If you guys haven't seen, I did a vlog a couple of months ago where G and I found in a supermarket some biscuit tea. Malty biscuit brew. It tastes like tea and biscuits, so we're just making a cup now. I thought we'd... It smells literally like malted biscuits dunked in tea. It's really good. Oh my god, that's really good. Is it great?
It's just changed my world. Everything I knew about tea has been
Oh my god, that
upside
literally
down.
tastes like a biscuit. And it is the most delicious thing ever. I have a box of it downstairs in my kitchen now. We're obsessed with it. I really hope for your sake that it becomes available in the USA soon because it's delicious. Tips for stretching the vajayjay. I kind of know what you're talking about here because this is so TMI. I don't know why I'm saying this, but the first time I had sex or tried to have sex with my first ever boyfriend, it didn't work because we couldn't get it in, and so I kind of went away at the age of 16 and just tried to, like, this sounds so TMI, I don't know why I'm saying this, but just tried to like get my vagina used to the feeling of having something inside it, because it does feel a bit weird at first. It eventually happened and eventually worked without being painful. I mean, also vibrators or dildos, silicone ones, you can get really small skinny ones that you could experiment with beforehand. What do I do as I've never had an orgasm from my partner? I'm assuming by this that you have had an orgasm by yourself before, and I think it's really just down to you now to show him what you like. If it's a case of it feeling nice but you feeling too nervous to fully let go, I think just take things really slow and show him what you like. Maybe get toys involved, try different positions that could benefit you more. For example, being on top sometimes can feel really good for you because you're in control and you can stimulate yourself how you want and how it feels good for you. And just have that conversation with him. Definitely don't fake an orgasm. I think that's awful and that can only lead to you not being satisfied and them having no idea. I'm going to be answering this question from male women perspective because that's the experience that I've had. Yeah, he'll be completely oblivious to the fact that you're not being satisfied. Maybe you could both masturbate together. Even if you know how to make yourself orgasm, then you can both pleasure yourself, and maybe he'll pick up some tips from that as well. Did you ever get really depressed whilst on the pill? I just started and it's giving me mood swings. I was never a down or depressed person until I started the pill when I think I was about 17 when I started the pill, and I have been on antidepressants. I feel so much better now that I'm off the pill mood wise. I know that I definitely get a dip just before my period. I get really low, and I definitely think for me the pill contributed to that. So go and talk to your doctor and see if there are any other things that you could try. Your tattoos and their meanings to you and plans for future tattoos. I actually need to film an updated tattoo video because I've got a couple of new ones that I haven't yet explained to you guys. I think the last one I did was about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. If you would like to see that, leave me a comment down below. I will get on it. Future tattoos, I have 3 ideas of ones that I really want. One of them I've wanted for about 5 years and the other 2 are quite recent, but yeah, stay tuned. If you could go back in time, which era would you like to visit and why? This is one of my favourite questions. It would 100% be Victorian Britain. I always said that, like, if I was in a past life, I'd like to be like a potion or like chemist maker in 1888. It's the time of the whole Jack the Ripper era, and yeah, just really fascinating. 100 years before I was born. Obviously, it would be really cool as well to be in the 20s. Where can I find a guy like G? Keep searching, he's out there. I didn't think I would ever find someone like him, but I have. They are definitely out there. We just need to work hard and be committed to finding decent guys. Recently had my drink spiked. General advice for safe dating would be good. Oh, I'm really like that. That really makes my heart hurt. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I have filmed a whole video on how to stay safe on app dates. I will leave that link down below. It's super important. Perhaps one of the like most important videos I've ever recorded. So please do watch that and share it with your friends. Have you always been living in London? Would you ever consider moving countryside? I've always lived in London my entire life. I grew up in London, was born in London, love this place so much, and I don't think I would ever leave it until I was a lot older. I obviously love the fact that you can get so much more room for your money in the countryside and further out, but for right now I'm good here. One day I would. How do you get over the fear of getting older and not being in a relationship or married? I've had so many questions like this, and it makes me sad that people feel so down that they're not in a relationship or not married or not at that point in their lives yet. I think just really learn to love the life that you're living, and it will happen naturally. Like, you won't have to think about it all the time, it will just turn up when you're least expecting. I know that's so cliche, but I really do believe that. Try and focus more on positives rather than the fears that you're feeling, and talk to people about it as well. You're not the only one in this position. There's so many girls who also feel the same as you. I'm 5 foot and very insecure about it in terms of dating. Any tips? Completely get you. Being 4'11", I always felt really insecure about my height. I did have some boots that I wore all the time on first dates. I called them my first date boots, and they had a massive heel like this big, so I was about 5'1" with them on, which is still quite tiny, but definitely made me feel a lot more confident. Secondly, I would message the guys beforehand with a warning or a reminder. I would also say, looking forward to seeing you tonight. I'll be the short blonde drinking rosé at this table, or by the way, just to remind you, I'm really little. And most of the time people just laughed and was like, why are you worried about that anyway? If anything, I think guys like petite packages, so please try not to worry about that too much. Not a question, but could you film a mukbang or like a Cook with Katie series? I would absolutely love to do that. I was telling G all about mukbangs the other day, and we were watching some online, and he'd never heard of it before, but yeah, I'd kind of like to do that. And what is your favourite true crime case? Oh my god, so many. I'm really fascinated by the Elisa Lam case, which I have filmed a video on. I'll leave a link to that down below. Jack the Ripper, obviously one of my faves. I know everything about that case because it's so fascinating to me, growing up in the East End of London myself. Ed Gein, also filmed a video on that because I find that so fascinating. Yeah, I've got so many faves. That is it. I hope this video wasn't too long. I hope you've learnt some more things about me, and come follow me on Instagram because I ask for your questions quite a lot over there, and I'd love for you to join me. Have a lovely Sunday, guys, and I will see you soon. Mwah!